Hello everyone, and welcome to this stream on youtube.com/Johnny Chiodini. That's me, I'm Johnny Chiodini, and today we're going to be playing Mask of the Rose by Failbetter Games with this delightful music that hopefully you can hear well enough. Let's see. That seems like a decent mix. The music is now ending. Now you shouldn't be able to hear it. There we go. Let me know how the sound mix is. I hope everyone's doing well. Nightwitch says, "Baby, I compare you to a mask of the rose on the grey," which is very funny. I also have a super chat from J Appleseed, who says, "Pig tax bracket plant gasms," which I assume means pollen, are making my face die. So I'll have to VOD, but hope you're staying cool and also not too hot. I'm doing all right, thanks. Music is very faint. Right, up goes music. Here comes that. I'm staying at an okay temperature. The weather is definitely getting warmer here in the UK, but I am more or less dealing with it, partly by getting this enormous water guy friend. It's like a litre and a half, and it's got a straw, and it's criminally easy to drink water through it. So basically, I've spent most of this week peeing like a racehorse. So there you go. Bit of a buzzing sound, says Pietro P. So this is the problem, right? Is that if I duck that down, I can up it in my headphones, but then that's bad for my ears. There's a real balancing act that goes on with that'll have to do. Okay. We'll go with that audio mix for now. And we'll jump straight into the game once I've got through these other super chats. Erica Burb says, "When will the game come out for Nintendo?" I don't know. I'm not sure. Ducks Piloting a Mech in Reverse has done a super chat saying, "Hi Johnny and LSPs, hope all are well. Officially going to MCM London in October. Ticket and hotel paid for by my parents for my 30th in December." Well, that sounds delightful. I assumedly will be there doing Oxventure adjacent things, so I will catch you then, no doubt. And obviously, it's quite early doors, but happy birthday for your birthday in December. And Garena Rain has summoned a pear. The pear, if you imagine a pear, it's a piece of fruit, bulbous on the bottom, thinner on the top, and now give it arms and legs and a face. That's what we've got here, and it's kind of regarding itself in a little hand mirror and kind of going like, "Eee!" like it likes what it sees, and the text says, "Thanks for being you." Thank you, Garena. It's nice to see the pear not with a mug of blood. Someone has someone has actually summoned the blood pear. Now imagine the same pear, but it's got a mug, and that mug is full of blood. And the pear just keeps going like, like it's delight. I've never had a mug to do this with before. It's like, yum, blood, I love it. That's what that one's doing. Thank you, Wraithfinds, for that. Emily Hill has done a super sticker, which is of a peach, but the natural shape of the peach and the way the light falls across it makes it look quite a lot like a bum, which is bracing. Kimberly Allen has done... Oh, it's the same super sticker. The pair has returned. The pair has, in short order, got rid of the mug of blood and has taken up the hand mirror again and is kind of like doing the simpering thing. And the text says, "Thanks for being you." Thank you again, Kimberly. That is very, very kind. Right. Katrina Trigari has done a super chat saying, "I hope you and the pig are feeling better now. I always look forward to your streams and glad you're enjoying Ghost of Tsushima." I love Ghost of Tsushima. It's fucking great, it turns out. Yeah, I'm very excited to play more of it. The storytelling is just really engaging. It's gripped me in a way like a game hasn't in a while. I'm liking it. Eto Brinker's done a super chat saying, Johnny, I missed you. Are you doing well? You're such a spark of joy in my life. Thanks for being you. Have fun with the game. Oh, that's lovely. Thank you very much. I'm doing all right, thanks. It's been a shit few weeks, but the weekend was quite good. And then I sort of was like, okay, if I work hard on myself for the next couple of days, I can probably turn this around. So I took Monday off streaming. Apologies for that, but it was necessary. And I'm on a bit of an upward bounce now, which is pleasant. Right. Aiden has done a super sticker of a unicorn with a rainbow-coloured tail and mane, and it looks like a red nose. Thank you very much, Aiden. Happy Pride Month once again to all. Right, let us play Mask of the Rose. In February 1862, with no warning at all, London fell through the surface of the earth. This was meant to be a year of progress in industry, the Great Exposition, trams, a new sewer system. Instead, we find ourselves dwelling in a cave. Nice Switch says, personally, I would love that to happen to London. No, thank you, Tara. I like London being above ground, personally, because it's where I live. Although, Kevin Stevens says, bet it's cooler down there, which, fair. It's October now. The fires have been put out. The bodies have been buried. But the future remains unimaginable. The time before, impossibly distant. Okay, the past. Who were we? A dock worker's child? My father worked the docks unloading ships. My uncle was a sailor. We were on the right side of the law, but the same couldn't always be said for our friends, which would ally us with the working class and with criminals. A child of the gentry. My family had an estate on the surface. My father was a magistrate. All that is unreachable now, of course. I had the bad fortune to be in London during the fall, but now there is no going back. But I do have a few connections here. The landed gentry hobnob with in high society and with the constabulary. Don't think we'll be picking that one anytime soon. Nice Switch says, I'm immediately so excited, forgotten how much I love the Fall in London series. It's just really nice, isn't it? I haven't played nearly as much Sunless Skies as I would have liked to. Right, a tailor. My family kept a tailoring shop with aspirations. We dressed our customers better than we dressed ourselves. Shopkeepers have contacts with society, but their own origins are more humble. They may also have some contacts among the artistically inclined. Interesting. A housebreaker's child. We must complete the game in order to unlock this background for future playthroughs. Ditto, an undertaker, an arcane academic. So, a dock worker's child. Should we be a tailor or a dock worker's child? We're not being a child of the fucking gentry. Let's do a little poll, shall we? Shall we be a tailor or a dock worker? Ask your community. Dot worker's child. Sorry, not a dot worker. Vote away, everyone. Nice Switch asks, which is the gayest one? Not sure yet. But a tailor is way out in front on that poll. I'll wait till it tips over. Ticks over just a few more votes. Okay, it's pretty conclusively a tailor's child. All right, that's a tailor, not a tailor's child. That's me. R. Benjamin Blummer says a tailor above a pie shop. Hopefully not. Down here, your name is whatever you say it is. Often there's no one left to remember who you used to be. Some people hold tight to the names they carried before. Some reinvent themselves completely. I prefer strangers to address me as Intendant, Monsieur, Madame, Mademoiselle, Miss, Madam, Sir, My Lord, My Lady, Citizen, Comrade, Captain, Lieutenant, Doctor, Professor, Officer, Secretary, Brother, Sister, Reverend, Intendant. Again, quite like Intendant, really. Let's go with Intendant. Though my friends call me... Harita, Valentina, Henry, Angus. Intendant Angus. That sounds quite good. Although, right. Comrade Angus. Captain Angus. Comrade Angus. Comrade Angus. Captain Angus? Captain Angus is calling to me a little bit more. Captain Shiny says Mr. Doctor. That's quite funny. Captain Angus. Captain Angus. Goblin has done a super chat saying, "Hey Johnny, never normally catch these. Just wanted to say thanks. Just finished my first year of uni, and you've honestly really helped me get through it, along with Oxventure. Keep being you." Thank you very much. Congrats on finishing your first year of uni. It's quite a whirlwind, I remember. I mean, it's been a long time since I did my first year of uni, but I remember it being pretty full on. Yeah, well, I hope you've had a good time, and you're pleased with how you did, and you've made some nice friends. One of the things it took me a while to realise when I was at uni is that, like, because I became friends with a bunch of people I just knew, who I'd met, and I was like, well, I guess these are my friends now because these are the people I've met. And then there came a point where I was like, no, I don't have to be friends with these people. I can choose who I associate with, and that was quite liberating. And I realised I could just gravitate towards the people I actually liked and not worry too much about the people I didn't. Anyway, long story short, thank you for the super chat. Congrats on finishing first year, and I'm very glad that Oxventure and also me in general has proved useful in that first year. Scott Hartman's done a super chat saying, "Shout out to my son Arrow, who is moving on from elementary (brackets primary school) today. Thanks for all you do, Captain Johnny. Love from Minnesota." Well, it would seem that Arrow is flying straight as an arrow from elementary school into the next bit of school. Middle school? The next bit. Anyway, there goes the door. We're never going to get this game underway, are we? It's alright, my partner's going to get the door. Sorry, that was the worst shout out I've ever done, Scott, but I hope Ara has a great time celebrating finishing elementary school. Right, here we go. That's me, Angus to my friends, Captain to strangers. That's how I was addressed even before London fell. I'm a different person down here than I was above. Or down here, I'm finally able to use the name that always fit me. I mean, we're using that one. That feels trans as fuck. Aha! Choose the cameo that best presents you. Represents you, rather. Ooh, these are nice. What should we go for? Is that Captain Angus? No, that's Captain Angus. That there is Captain Angus. That's me! Sorry to all of you who wanted me to choose the one with a pipe. In the Neath, a true ally means everything. When I find people to be close to, I am open to friendship, but no romantic emotions or physical intimacy. Friendship and physical intimacy, but no romantic emotions. Friendship and romantic emotions, but no physical intimacy, or whatever comes my way. That's great. That's really, really nice. Orthogonalist says option E, Awooga. Let's go with whatever comes my way. Whatever comes my way. I'll be looking for both romantic feelings and a physical connection. This is so nice. Okay. Friendship and matchmaking are possible too, of course. Alright. Okay, name and title. Captain Angus. Past, a tailor. Heart's desire. Passionate romance. I'm happy with this. Okay. Right now I'm meant to be helping with the census, finding out who still lives in my neighbourhood. The first census results are due tomorrow. If I turn them in, I get paid, the first money to come my way in nearly 2 months. If I don't, I'm going to disappoint Grizz badly. She knew I was in trouble, so she went out of her way to find me work with her own employers. Right, yeah, we don't want to mess this up. She even gave me a badge to show my affiliation. New item acquired, badge of the Ministry of Accounting and Recounting. The front of the badge looks almost like a constable's badge, with the lion and unicorn blazoned upon it. The back of the badge has some kind of symbol I don't recognise. Hot to the touch. True Hopi says I have to go, but we'll be back for VOD later. This game looks fantastic already. Have a good time, Johnny. I will. I'll see you later. In fact, if you're watching this again in the future, hello! I hope you're well. Emily Hill's done a super chat saying, my pup Boba Fetch, great name for a dog in fairness, needs surgery to remove a lump found out yesterday, and I've been feeling pretty low. Took today off from everything. Any positive vibes would be appreciated. Thank you for the stream. I'm so sorry, Emily. That's really, really rubbish. I'm going through a similar thing at the minute. My dog has a lump on her leg, near to where she had a tumour removed last year, and the results for the biopsy came back inconclusive. So we're going to talk to the vet again. I'm going to talk to their soft tissue specialist, and I think we're going to have it removed just to be safe. Or there are other options we can look at. But suffice it to say, it's rubbish, Emily. But I think you can take heart from the fact that you're doing something about it now. You know, like, it's rubbish, but you're doing something proactive, and that is great. Boba Fett is clearly in good hands with you, and will be in the hands of professionals. So while it's scary, at least you're taking steps. So lots of love. Hopefully the stream will come in handy. But it's all right to take some time out and just to feel not great about it. So lots of love. I'll keep you posted on Watson if you keep me posted on Boba Fetch. Let's crack on, I guess. Chaos Goblin, as opposed to Goblin, who super chatted earlier, has done a super chat saying, glad to finally catch a stream. They're always a highlight of the day. Happy to share the fruits of some of my labour while I listen as I work from home in my fancy new job. Thanks for being you. Congratulations on the new gig, Chaos Goblin. I hope you are really bloody enjoying it. Also, working from home is nice, isn't it? It's good. So, still talking of the badge, I keep it with the clothes I have from before the fall, and a few odd items I found more recently. Lexi West has done a super chat saying, can actually watch live as I'm home recovering from bottom surgery. Thanks for all the chill videos to watch. You're very welcome. More importantly, congratulations on the bottom surgery. And yeah, I hope your recovery is smooth and swift and uncomplicated, and that it brings you all of the joy that you deserve to feel. Let's change my outfit. Okay. Outfit notes. Hat! Not a very sophisticated look, not much of a look at all. Hatless. Going bareheaded is a bit chilly in this cave. Face. Barefaced. Good for the complexion. Captain Shiny says, wait, the badge that is weirdly warm isn't seen as odd? Many things are odd in Fallen London. Right. In the Neath, rather. Lapel. Without decoration. Where I'm going, I might not want to declare any particular affiliation. Or, badge of the Ministry of Accounting and Recounting. The front of the badge looks almost like a blah, 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 blah. Or, fake but vibrant corsage. The most obvious thing about this flower is that it is extremely fake. Perfect for going out on the town, boasting, and gallivanting. Well, let's put on the badge of the Ministry of Accounting and Recounting, shall we? Because we need to get that job done. Nicewitch says, no one is asking the most important questions. Are there monsters in this game, and are they romanceable? We're going to try and find them. We'll try and find them. Where should I put my face? I feel like if I put my face up there, I'm obscuring less of this bit of the game, because my face isn't there anymore. But also there was some stuff up there earlier that hopefully I won't be obscuring. Let's see. Torso. Coatless. A tailor's apron. The apron speaks to a shopkeeper's life. Helpful, cooperative, but with a gift for invention and a true appreciation of craft. Let's keep that tailor's apron on. Why not? That'll do. Grizz. Ah, I thought you were up here. Hello, Grizz. She glances at the badge I'm wearing. I suppose I should be glad you're thinking about the census, even if you didn't get around to leaving the house. Oops. I react to that the way I react to many things these days. I turn it into a joke. I dare to name the frightening things out there. I lie. I mean, I would turn it into a joke, probably. Hang on, let's adjust my face a tiny bit more. There we go. I turned it into a joke. Orthogonalist says, no option for the legs. I guess we're Donald Ducking it. Mm-hmm. I thought I'd wait for a change in the weather, I say. Oh, it's weird that I've spoken. I'm not used to that in Failbetter games. A lovely snow, perhaps, says Grizz. There's no sunshine down here. There are no yellow pea soup fogs. There's no rain, except occasionally a fine mist. London has lost half our topics of conversation when we fell. Yes. Genuinely. Come tomorrow evening, we need to have at least a few census forms filled out, says Grizz. Man says, what's this game? This is Mask of the Rose from Failbetter Games. It is launching on Steam in about... It should be launched by 6 PM UK time, which is in an hour and 40 minutes. It is a visual novel of murder and romance. Or I'm going to be the one explaining to Mr. Pages. Ooh. And if that happens, I'm not going to help you with your employment prospects again. Oh, we've really donked this up. Grizz works for the Ministry of Accounting and Recounting. It seems to agree with her. She wears trousers to work and comes home at all hours. Aiden says, did they approach you and give you the key? They did give me the key. I know some of the Failbetter folks, and have done for quite some time. So, yeah, Hannah, the community manager, got in touch and was like, hello, do you want to check this out? And I said, obviously. It's very important to her being taken seriously by these employers. The next thing I do is characteristic 2. I compliment her, I reassert control, I be open and build trust, or I rely on dark humour. These would be my go-tos. Be open and build trust, or rely on dark humour, depending on how much I like the person. So far, I like Grizz, so let's be open and build some trust. I'm sorry. To be frank, I didn't like the look of the city today. Too many dark alleys. I'll see we have something to turn in. You still have some time tomorrow, says Grizz. She gives me a hard look, as though she could stuff some integrity into a person just by glaring hard enough. What do you think of the questions? They're written in the most peculiar spiked handwriting, and there are punctures in the paper in random spots. Tease her as though I think that's her handwriting, jokingly defend my reading ability, or admit I haven't read them. I'm going to jokingly defend my reading ability. Are you saying you don't think I can read? That's a rubbish joke, me. Come on. She's going to see right through that. Shitrex Vids has done a super chat saying, finally got a job after getting fired in Feb. Love the streams and keep up the great entertainment, you wonderful person, you. Congrats on the new job, Shitrex Vids. That must feel pretty good. I hope you are settling into it wonderfully. And thank you very much for the super chat. Right. This is not the usual writing, says Grizz. Here, try the questions on me. Say you've just knocked on the door, and I have come to answer it. Yes, what do you want? Introduce myself as an agent of the ministry showing my badge. I assume that symbol means that I can do it because of what's on my lapel. Good evening. On behalf of the Ministry of Accounting and Recounting, I have a few questions. Oh, how lovely. I am so grateful these ministries are looking after us. Straightforwardly accept her performance, sarcastically accept, flirtatiously riff on how excellent the ministry is, or read out that first question. I mean, let's flirt. Let's flirt with Grizz. I agree. Everyone you meet there is so good looking. Clever, too. You have not met some of my colleagues. Oh, Grizz. Oh, not Awooga. Nice Switch says getting real third wheel vibes from the mannequin. And Dave Gresham says sex run commences. Why not? Provoke her a little more. Jokingly speculate. Read out that first question. Let's read out that first question. How many people live in this establishmentation? Is that a word? Establishmentation? My superiors are enthusiastic embellishers of the language. If you like, you can translate into questions that are more likely to be understood. Right. How many people live in this establishment? 4. The landlady, Miss Horatia Chapman, a young man named Archibald Reed, myself, and a 4th character, very disreputable. Suggest that she might not be the picture of respectability herself. Joke that she's not counting the vermin. Build trust. Build trust. I'm not a secretive person, Grizz. If I seem disreputable, you only have to ask about it. Blimey. Yes, maybe. But then you might expect me to answer any of your questions. Damn, Grizz. Sometimes I'm in the mood to keep chatting, and sometimes I want to get to the point. Linger over the census in order to keep chatting with Grizz, or I have learned enough. Let's linger over the census to keep chatting with Grizz. Doi. Is anyone in this establishment enamorificated or impassionated? What does this even mean? They're asking if anyone here is in love. Just ask that. What kind of census is this? Is anyone here in love? Grizz, is anyone here in love? No. Nah. Womp womp. Tease her. Ask whether she's sure about herself. Ask whether she's sure about me. What? You know the hidden secrets of my heart? Very well, write down whatever romantic confessions you like. I'll look in the other direction. Preserve your privacy. At this moment, a second visitor walks in. Oh! Archie is a medical student. He hadn't finished his training before the fall, but he has plenty of work now. Madison Kirkpatrick's on Super Chat saying, "Hi Johnny, can't stay or will be part of VOD Squad because I'm currently training for my brand new job. Still can't believe I got it, and thank you for all the content while I job hunted. See you soon." Congratulations, Madison. Feels like lots of people are celebrating new jobs today. I hope you bloody love it. It seems like you were excited about it, which is a good start. I hope the people are nice. I hope the job is good. I hope you have a very nice time. And if you're watching this on VOD, hello, welcome back. We're getting some awoogas in the chat for Archie. All right. Right after the fall, it was broken bones and cuts. Lately, there are fewer wounds and more diseases. I wondered where you were. Greet Archie flirtatiously, ask Archie what he needs. Look at Grizz's body language. Look at that there. We're going to ask Archie what he needs. What are you looking for? There's something that needs explaining. Out I went this morning. Oh, he's Scottish. I'm not doing it. I'm not going to do it. Neo Hamilton says, what was the fall? Did I miss an explanation? Yes, in 1862, London fell into the earth. So now it's in a cave called the Neath. And so everyone's in what's known as Fallen London, basically. Happy Bob has done a super chat saying, Johnny, you are awesome and make me laugh / smile when I feel I can't. Thank you for that. The LSPs are also great. This is a great place to be. They're a nice lot. Thank you very much for the super chat, Happy Bob. I'm glad that yeah, we can all make a difference and make you laugh and smile when you feel like you can't, because it's good to be able to do that, especially when you feel like you can't. It's kind of when you get that surprise and you're like, oh, that was good. It is pleasant. Ronnie's in chat. Hello, Ronnie. Ronnie says Archie looks like he needs a shave and a good night of sleep. Accurate. So out I went this morning to visit a patient, and what do I find pasted up on the wall? He holds up a broadsheet. There's a new decree from the Ministry of Cartography and Chirography that all maps and atlases are to be surrendered or put on the fire. It's your folk making these rules, Grizz, says Archie. Promise Grizz that we can be trusted with whatever she knows. Suggest Archie leaves the topic alone or stay well out of this. I'm going to promise Grizz that we can be trusted with whatever she knows. You can tell us we're trustworthy. I'm even working for the ministry. You have yet to actually do anything for the ministry. I have the badge and I've been trained. Will you be asking your Mr. Pages about these maps? The Ministry of Chirography and Cartography is new. I don't think that existed yesterday. What? That is weird. Let her draw her own conclusions. Very well, I'll see what I can find out about this, but it might take some time. Angus, please do collect at least a few census forms by tomorrow from whatever Londoners you are able to find. At the end of the day, I'll find you and we can take them to Mr. Pages together. Alright. New goal, deliver a filled census form to Pages. Continue. She gives me a long look before she goes. A sexy long look? Inconclusive. Aye, well, next time I'll not come in without knocking. Yeah, you fucking better not, Archie. Might be I'll cough a few times so the two of you can separate. Yeah. How about that, Archie? Ask whether Archie might be jealous. Contemplate the possibility Grizz does have an interest in me. Register polite non-interest. Or intimidate Archie into not being so nosy. Or, what should we do? I'd like to contemplate the possibility Grizz does have an interest in me. But asking if Archie's jealous might be fun as well. Louis Fairman says intimidate, all in caps. I don't want to intimidate him. I'm tempted to contemplate. Okay, let's do some contemplating. I suppose it's possible. She might have the look of being fierce, but if she was to choose someone and then her heart was to be broken, might be disappointment or it might be meeting with a thing she couldn't plan. Okie dokie. But she'd be sadder than a hanged cat. Is that a phrase? That's not an expression I've heard before. I guess, guess things change pretty quickly when your city falls into an underground cave. Right. Say I'll think about it. Turn the subject to his census while I have him here, or let it go. Turn the subject to his census. Grizz has me gathering census pages for the ministry. Aye, Grizz told me it was some such thing. I meant to fill out a page with answers to questions about you. What questions would those be then? Simply ask about his romantic commitments. Show some doubt, or continue being quite open. Let's be open. Openness is good. I've heard all sorts of stories, so I doubt you will shock me. Indeed. You don't look like your heart is gladdened by true love, but I might have missed the signs. Are you engaged? Promised? Down here, there's no one. What about before Judgment Day? There was a lass back home, and what did me mother do but promise me to her? Encourage him to go on, suggest he might prefer a more local alternative, or say nothing. Go on! That sounds like a tale. What happened? It's not so uncommon, I think. My mother was friends with this lass's parents, they were getting on in years, and her not married, and of course the whole village knew her business. So my mother said she'd fix it up between us next time I were home, but I've not been back since. Seemed to me I ought to wait till I was finished with my studies. Might have a better look to it. The question has stirred recollections he's not considered for a time. Is it bad to say I've not much thought of her since? She has very even teeth. My mother said overlapping teeth in a woman means defiance, and gaps mean a light skirt. Laugh, or keep my opinions to myself. I'm going to laugh. This is fucking ridiculous. Ah, son, you don't want a woman with overlapping teeth. She'll never listen to you. And you want to watch out for the ladies with gaps in between the teeth. They're hooers. I chuckle. There's stranger theories I heard in the medical lecture hall. And plenty of constables who thought we'd catch the criminals that road. Phrenology, it's a pile of bullshit. Right, flirt with him, talk about his recollections and past, or finish the conversation. Let's finish the conversation, fuck it. Not that interested in Archie, to be perfectly honest with you. Have a good evening. If I met the like of you in Scotland, I might never have come to London. Well, Archie's certainly DTF, isn't he? Encourage Archie, discuss this line overtly, decides to court Archie. I have only platonic intentions towards Archie. Bloody hell. I've only been playing half an hour. He's going to ask to see my teeth. Oh, discourage this line overtly. Decide to court Archie. Marissa J says he is forward. I appreciate it. In fairness, I have historically been so unaware when people have tried to flirt with me. Chaos Goblin says Archie must have gaps in his teeth. Yeah. Encourage, discourage. Start courting him. I'm not going to court him. I have only platonic intentions toward Archie. Chunky Whippet says, I have arrived precisely when I mean to. Also, I arrived to someone talking about having even teeth. So far, so Johnny Stream. Exactly. The thought hits me, but I don't show it. Another Dragon says, hey everyone, who did we kiss and who was murdered? No one's died and no one's been kissed yet. I keep track of everything in my journal. What conversations I've had. The plans I've made. Oh, no, that wasn't wistful. It was what conversations I've had. The plans I've made. I thought it was like, what conversations I've had. Ah, the plans I've made. How I'm feeling about other people. Review the day in my journal. Kira Cox is right. Archie was fucking trying. He was trying it on pretty hard. Right. Deliver a filled census form to Pages. Conduct more census interviews if there is time. Wait for Grizz to take me to see Mr. Pages. It's been 259 days since the fall. Season of Confessions. 1 census page. Time of day, evening. And then we can see here... Oh, look. We've got... Day 40, Chaos began to use my true name. Archibald Reed boards with Horatia. His mum has a nice girl for him back home. Sounds like she's been to the bakery. Okay. I gave up any interest in Archie. Harjeet Singh is a constable. The one to ask whenever I get lost, or I think I might be going to get lost. Okay. Horatia keeps Chapman's and all its lodgers. I still owe her back rent. Alright. And then here's the log. Oh, the log of conversation. Cool. Alright. I would like to... Shit. I really wanted to go do a censusing. 6 days remain in the season of confessions. The newspapers aren't what they used to be, but someone is still printing broadsheets these days. This morning's lies open on the table. River through London no longer to be known by its former name. Londoners warned of strange creatures emerging from waters. Maybe we will fuck a monster. Relive the fall of London. This will not cause time to pass. Let's do it. I'm really glad your brain went there, Nice Switch, because it went the same way for me. Newspaper, she ain't what she used to be. Ain't what she used to be. Right. I'm always reliving London's last night on the surface. I tried to put it out of my head, but it's still there. The dimming of the sun at 3 in the afternoon. The sky turning the colour of rust. The horrible bang and the cloud of dust from the direction of Westminster. The tolling of the bells. The horseman, who rode down the street, liveried in the garb of the palace, shouting, "In Her Majesty's name, go indoors." And then the sky was full of bats, more bats than I thought could exist in the world. Wheeling, shrieking, defecating. People went indoors then, if they'd ignored the criers. Those that had no house crowded into the churches and under the bridges. Even now I don't understand why Parliament collapsed, how Her Majesty knew to send criers, that so many bats could exist in the world. Bats! It was not only in our part of London, they were everywhere. Perhaps I should say, they are everywhere. Bats, bats, bats. I reckon it's a tornado. I heard of something similar in the Welsh Hills back to 1760. Daylight in the sky and a noise like a thunderclap. That's no tornado, love. It's a plague of Egypt, says Horatia. I let them talk. I intervened before they annoyed one another. I sent a pleading look at Grizz. I intervened before they annoyed one another. The newspapers will tell us in the morning what it was. Oh, me. Oh, naive little me. There's some dramatic irony. Leastwise it will make a good story for the letters home. Glasgow will be envious of our London fashions, says Grizz. I'm not sure about that, Grizz. Woe to you says, oh hey, is this in the sunless sea / sunless sky setting? Yes, it is. Very much is. Then the ground shook again. I believe we can blame Mr. Bazalgette's excavations, digging about under London, causing a seismic disturbance. Uh-oh. And what did he find down there but a cave of 3 million bats? Is that what you reckon? There are stranger things beneath London. That was the beginning of it, but we were down there for hours and hours. The sky darkened, and it didn't return to normal. Once, around midnight, Grizz went upstairs and opened the door to the street, but she came right back down again. She said the cobbles were galloping about. It wasn't safe to walk outside. After that first bit, the memories collide and get confused. I have trouble keeping track of which came first and which came later, and whether I'm imagining something. I've spent a lot of days like this, thinking back, trying to piece together the bits of the puzzle. As if I could realise something that would make sense of it all. Venture out into London. This will pass time as you explore the city. Adjust your current outfit. No, we must go outside and do sensor stuff. Here's London, look. There it is. It's where the London Eye would be. Oh, whoops. Boarding house, Thrall Street. Just outside my front door. Surely these are the same streets that were always here. Take the census with Harjeet. It's worth it to be mindful of how others will perceive me. What role I play, what I can and cannot say, is constrained by my clothes. This was true before the fall, but it's even truer now. Names, identities, and relationships have all become so unsteady and unreliable. Harjeet admires duty but does not always care for the ministry. It's hard to say what impression the badge makes on him. I should change. Lapel? Get rid of it. Or maybe we'll put the little vibrant corsage on. Let us put on the little vibrant corsage, and we'll go coatless. Why not? No, I like the apron. Why are we ashamed of who we are? I wonder what impression this will make on Harjeet. Not quite right, but I can try again. I'm satisfied with this. Maybe some other time. I'm satisfied with this. The street outside Mr. Chapman's are not easy. The streets, rather. Thanks to my family history, I do know where to find the nearest market that specialises in clothing. New location discovered. Hogs Lane Market. Likely just a corruption of Hogs Lane, but I'd keep my pet pig on a leash all the same. I tend to. But whenever I need to find more of them, it's Harjeet who helps me. Harjeet, rather than Harjeet? I have something for you if you want it, says Harjeet. He produces a nearly new Admiral's hat in perfectly good condition. I found it near the docks, no sign of the owner, and I can't wear it myself. I thought someone at Mrs. Chapman's might get use out of it. Also, Jupitermon says, Awooga! Yeah, you could cut glass with those cheekbones, look at that. Neo Hamilton puts it very well. This man is sharp and sharply dressed. Perhaps Lady Griselda. New item acquired. Admiral's hat. Trimmed with gold braid, it makes a person look like a respectable representative of the Navy. Wearing it gives me a commanding, if slightly curmudgeonly, presence. Ooh, Emma Benton says, good morning, chat. Guess who is probably moving to Seattle? Well, Seattle adjacent, because Seattle is expensive as fuck. Cool! That sounds very good. Ronnie says, giving someone a hat is surely flirting, especially a hat as cool as that. Is giving someone a hat flirting? Interesting. Clothes make an impression on other people when I wear them. They make an impression on me too. Sometimes I'm inspired to say things I wouldn't otherwise. I have the feeling this particular hat would make me a bit gruff and commanding. Put the hat on my head and consider what to say, or lose the lapel flower. I'm going to put the hat on my head and consider what to say. Bot P. Caramel says you don't just give someone a hat. Huh. Be dramatically ungrateful, influenced by hat and pin. Thank him profusely. Take the hat off again, or lose the lapel forever. Let's take the hat off again. I'm so confused. I'm so bad at flirting. But also he's a cop, so take the hat off again. Thank him profusely. Lose the lapel flower. Let's lose the lapel flower. It makes me think of flirtatious and dramatic things to say. No one wears something like this unless they want to make an impression, after all. Thank him. There we go. There we go, that's better. Thank him. Oh, thank you. He could have got a penny or two for it by selling it onto a second-hand clothes merchant. Harjeet is silent. Explain that I'm working for the Ministry on the census. Explain apologetically about the census. Simply state that I have questions. Let's butter him up. I'm so sorry about the census, Harjeet. I am sorry for the interruption, but I've been sent to ask a few questions of the citizens of London, or those who survived, at any rate. I'm not sure what the masters have in mind, says Harjeet. Nonetheless, it would be a help. I see. London was determined to collect everyone's name even before the fall. Ask whether his answers have changed. Agree it's a peculiarity of the English. Say the information is needed for planning. I agree it's a peculiarity of the English. It is a peculiarity of the English. You aren't the only ones ever to count your citizens. Interesting. What do you wish to know? CookieCat94 has done a super chat saying, a perfectly platonic hat, with a little hat emoji. Why, CookieCat94, are you flirting? No, he just said it's a perfectly platonic hat, just like you said. Right, what do you wish to know? Simply ask about Harjeet's household, or use the question as a chance to flirt. Simply ask about the household. He's a cop. Do you live alone? At one time I shared my lodgings. That was prior to the fall, but my former companion is missing. Simply ask about Harjit's romantic connections. Simply ask about the connections, please. Are you married or otherwise connected? This is not a matter I would explain to most people. You and I have known one another for some time, however. Yes, but I am taking a census. Dude, okay. I think you would hear me out kindly, but if you would rather not carry my secrets... Assume Haji, I will keep his confidence, whatever it is. Decline from a dislike of other people's secrets, or decline lest the ministry learn too much. Let's decline lest the ministry learn too much. Chris has done a super chat saying, "Hi Johnny and pals, I can't stay, but I just wanted to say hi before I went to sleep. I'll see you on VOD. Have a good one." Thanks, Chris. That's lovely. Have a good sleep. More importantly. At the moment, what you tell me, you tell the ministry. So perhaps it is better that I do not know. Unless you would equally confide in Mr. Pages. Ronnie says, I mean, we don't have to date the cop. We can break the cop's heart, thus breaking the system down from the inside. Very good point, Ronnie. An honourable answer, he says, clutching his pecs peckily. Impeccably? Damn it. It's best not to promise what you can't be sure of giving. For the sake of the ministry, I fill in declined to say. There is a short silence. There are so many things in my life that I share with no one. Things that are not secret or even private, but that are beyond companionship. The memory of my home, my faith, the intricate policies of the court in Lahore, which I learned in childhood. Learned in childhood and cannot forget. Now I'm adding to those all the empty buildings that I alone see. Nice, which says ACAB, but also I could fix him. No, you can't. Look at him. He's a cop. Do you have any such things of your own? In which communication entirely fails? Talk about my friends that were, answer truthfully about something else, or deflect that jokingly. I'll give him a little bit of the truth. I answer with difficulty at first, but then in more detail. The conversation turns on things I've never explained before. Or, it turns on things I've never explained before. My secret eldritch ding-dong. Harjit listens with the same concentration I've seen when he was memorising a fresh route through London. Ask what he thinks of London. Flirt. Simply drop this topic. We can do little a flirt as a treat. I wish we had met sooner. No one down here holds a candle to you. Fucking hell! You call that flirting? That's declaring your undying love, dingus. Do you mean to fluster me when you say things like that? I don't have to continue. I didn't say you should stop. No one speaks for a moment. A horse is coming. Ask him about some new destinations. Let's ask about the Tentaground Synagogue, St. Albans Proto-Martyr Church, or the Menace Eradicator's Shop. I'm intrigued by whatever a Proto-Martyr is. So let's go with that. Do you know how to get to St. Albans? Scott Hartman says, let's see his teeth. It's the parish church not too far from here, but since the fall it's been easy to get turned around. Yes, I can show you. Alright. So we walk together. At every few moments, Harjit stops to point out a landmark. Or draw my attention to the places where the air smells different, or the sound of church bells can be heard. Sounds like we're walking with a hound, not a man. St. Alban was the first English martyr. A point of considerable pride to the local vicar is the church of our parish. Oh, I see. Like, he was the... Okay. Right. First martyr. Got it. Excuse me. Right. St. Alban's proto-martyr. This is the closest church to Horatia's. Ah! You're a bit early for evensong. I was just preparing my sermon. But if you're here in need of guidance... Try to draw a personal connection given that my family were tailors. Present myself as helpful and obedient, or joke. Let's do the tailor thing. My name is Angus. Theophilus Withenwick. It is a Yorkshire name. I knew that. That's why I'm doing this voice. Oh, look at his teeth. Oh, smooth. Smooth, even... Is that a gap, though? Is that a gap there? Light skirt. Before the fall, my family were tailors. If that sort of thing matters, now we inhabit this cave. Orthogonalist has done a super chat. It is a haiku, which reads, "Put on the corsage. Tell him what he wants to hear. Awooga, baby." Oh, good lord. Explain that I'm working for the Ministry on the Census. Explain apologetically about the census. Simply state that I have questions. I'm going to say I'm working for the Ministry. I don't have my badge with me, but I'm collecting census information for the Ministry of Accounting and Recounting. Theophilus looks faintly mutinous. A decree went out from Caesar Augustus that all the world should be taxed. Here we bloody go. Laugh. Heh. Nice. I suppose we still have a month and more before Advent. Simply ask about his household, try and establish some trust. Use the question as a chance to flirt. Bloody hell. Let's try and establish some trust. I live in Mrs. Chapman's boarding house. That at least offers some companionship. I see. Do you live alone? He is resentfully silent. I live alone in the rooms provided for the vicar of this parish. There is a woman who comes twice a week to clean. Or there was. Her visits have been more erratic of late. She stole several spoons and a chafing dish from me. And my second best chasuble. Who knows what she thought to do with it? When I did not turn her off for dishonesty, she lost all respect for me. She gets off on thieving? In retrospect, it was an error. I thought to show mercy. Now I sleep on damp sheets. Simply ask about his romantic connections. Try to establish some trust. Let's just fucking simply ask. Are you married? I was married. The lady was 2 or 3 years older than myself. A very sensible and capable woman. He doesn't remember her name. Cattle de Camper says, just joined. Is this a dating sim? Sort of. Yes. But also, this has been made by Failbetter Games, so there's definitely some weirdness going on as well. Her name was Anne. Okay, he does remember the name of his former wife. That's good. Ask what became of his wife. Back off what might be a sensitive subject. No! Anne Withenwick is no longer with you? It is a sad but not unusual tale. Promise to repay frankness somehow in the future. Apologise for the impertinence of the question. Stand closer and ask again. I will apologise for the impertinence of the question. I think that will probably mollify him. I'm sorry for the impertinence of the question. D. Lawnrow says he just needed to vamp for a minute to remember her name. Yeah, no, I had a wife. She was, she was 2 or 3 years older than me. She had legs and a face, and we were married because she was my wife. And Anne. Her name was Anne. Anne, that was her name. Anyway. A fault confessed is half redressed. Okay. It was out of place. We are commanded to be wise as serpents. I'll keep my own counsel, thank you. Oh. Oh. What the fuck? What the fuck? Something has landed on the roof. Should we ask if it's in love? It sees us. Bat. Make light of this obvious danger. Point out that it's far, far too large to be a bat, or admit to being afraid of the thing. Point out it's far too large to be a bat. It's larger than any bat I've seen. A gargoyle? An imp? It's landed there a few times before, especially when the choir is practicing. Suggest it is drawn to the music. Say nothing until it goes away, or hold my breath. Suggest it's drawn to the music. Possibly it likes music. Just as well the opera has been suspended in that case. It might have carried off half of society by now. How can he be so glib about this? Colin Laster is yes, and Emma Benton are both on it with this. This guy is far too chill about this, and why are you being so normal about this? Oh my god, is it his wife? His wife became a giant bat. Please go away. Giant thing. The thing up there is gone. The Tentaground Synagogue's in better condition than our little church. I've wondered whether that signifies the direction of divine approval. Tentaground Synagogue, an old synagogue and one that has weathered the fall very well. Flirt! Ask him about his work. Ask what happened to the church roof, or finish the conversation. I'm going to ask about the church roof. What happened to the roof? Ah, that. What? What? Ah, that. Yes, there's a massive hole in your roof. That's how we saw the enormous thing on your roof. Frelian says, is the light beam following his head? It's how the game indicates who's talking, I believe. Comment that at least there's no risk of rain. Congratulations him on his luck that no one was hurt or confessed to some alarm. I'm going to say it's a good thing no one was hurt. It's a good thing you weren't celebrating a service at the time. Or divinely providential, he says. Shut up. It was good of you to stop in. Lord see you safely home again. Now, Captain Shiny says he was saying earlier about being wise as a serpent, which has interesting implications for who he worships. Indeed. Curious. I have time for one more errand today before supper. Okie dokie. Adjust your current outfit. Let's... Oh, come on. Let's treat ourselves to an Admiral's hat, hey? Let's go full ministry person. Head outside. Okay. Do we want to go to Hogslane Market, the synagogue? That's the boarding house again. I want to go to Tentaground Synagogue because I'm intrigued by... But then if it's not been... I'd like to know if a massive thing's been on their roof. Yeah, let's go to the synagogue. Look for potential census fillers. It's hard to guess what outfit will go over best in this environment. I should change. I'm satisfied with this, or I'd rather go somewhere else. Maybe the badge and the hat are too much. Let's go hatless again. I think that'll do. Okay. Hello, you two. They peer over my badge. I'm not familiar with that ministry. It's new. We are on our way to services, so this is not a suitable time for ministry business. Wait here, Rachel, or you can just stand a bit to the side if you want, wherever you're comfortable. I'll speak with this person, it won't take long. Shouldn't, anyway. Try to draw... No, just present myself as helpful and obedient. It's the easiest way. Delighted to meet you. I'm Angus. The gentleman does not comment on this. Yeah, I've biffed it. The lady does not have an answer. David and Rachel Landau. Rachel is my sister. What can we do for you? Explain that I'm working for the Ministry on the Census. Explain apologetically about the census. Simply say I have questions. I'm working on the census. The Ministry of Accounting and Recounting have asked me to work on the census. I see. I'll answer your questions, Captain. If you answer mine, call it character research. An actor. An actor. Are you having peculiar dreams down here? Oh, not an actor. Mention that Archie has patience with Justice's complaint, admit that I am having peculiar dreams, or refuse to discuss it. Let's tell her about Archie. Maybe they can get together. My housemate is a doctor. Well, almost a doctor. He is being called to see people with strange dreams constantly. Does he report them back to you, or better yet, does he keep a ledger? He only gives the outlines. He doesn't give away the secrets of his patients. Commendable, says David, grabbing his scarf, boobily. Inconvenient, says Rachel, touching her hip, punchily, knucklingly. Go ahead with your questions, Captain. Ask what she means about character research. No, just take census information about her. Simply ask about their household. Who else lives in your household? Our home contains myself, my brother, and our housekeeper. It isn't a grand establishment. We had another housekeeper for many years, but she passed away, and Phoebe, our servant, had lost her place with a neighbour of ours. Ask whether David has any romantic commitments currently. Simply ask whether David is in love, or cede some of the power back to David. No! Are you in love, David? Are you married? Are you in love? Oh, not recently. I was in love once, or so I imagined. Charlotte Carringham. She and David had an understanding. Light skirt, gaffy teeth. She converted in any case. Becoming Christian suited her social aspirations. Oh. That sucks. Rachel? Yes, I take leave to dislike your unworthy suitors as heartily as you dislike mine. Milton is a yellow-eyed, flash-dressed, hot-handed creature at least 2 decades too old for my sister. David and Rachel are turning out to be pretty interesting. Rumours of devils are frequent in the city. Perhaps Milton is one of them. I hardly think he and Charlotte are comparable. Ask whether David... Hint for more information about Rachel's unsuitable friend. Please. Oh dear, the rules of polite society have broken somewhat in the fall, haven't they? Nothing of the sort. He's a devil, or rather, he belongs to the group using that name. Milton is an artistic inspiration. If you're not a writer yourself, Captain, you cannot guess how much the fall has disrupted our sort of work. Is it the Milton? Characters have certain tastes, certain preferences, certain prejudices. All I need to do is imagine them in new circumstances, and their reactions write themselves. But now, we've all been at least a little bit cracked by the fall. How does anyone behave? Who can say? You always said you wrote from observation. You can still observe. Since the fall, there's no pattern in what I see. It is only home that makes sense to me, and I cannot make my whole novel about a brother and sister lighting candles at Shabbat. Ask why not out of curiosity. Why not? Why not? My publisher wouldn't tolerate it. The Lily of London wouldn't print it. The rest of the world must come into it somehow. Milton helps me sort the rest of the world. He can make sense of anything, even a viscountess running down the street in her peignoir. What's a peignoir? Is it some sort of seabird? It is easy to understand a misbehaving Viscountess. Everything else is stranger. Let me say, Captain, Milton smokes rose-scented cigars. That sounds like a slur. He helps me. Take Rachel and Milton's side. Encourage David to further gossip. Take census information about Rachel. I'm just going to take the information. Simply ask whether Rachel is in love. Use the question as a chance to flirt. Fuck it, why not? Are you married or otherwise promised? Are you in love? No, I wouldn't say that. Milton is only a friend. Well, what about me? Just as well, too. In the times before, you never could have darkened the door of such a person. I did not flirt then at all. Turn the subject to his life and business. Ask David about his work. Ask David about his work. Simply ask what David does for a living. What line of work are you in? We have money in the funds and interest in several businesses in London and elsewhere. The time was when I used to be very busy in answering letters from Livorno, from Amsterdam. These days my time is not so extensively occupied. We're expected elsewhere. I'm not feeling well enough for this. You've set loose one or two ideas, for which I certainly owe you something. Sex? She produces a card and hands it to me. It provides her address and guidance to reach it. The Landau's townhouse. Landau's townhouse. A well-appointed townhouse suffused with homely glow from its tall windows. Home of the Landau siblings. Well, well. Look after yourself, Captain. I think Rachel kind of liked me there. At this point, I go back to Horatius for supper. I go straight to the table. I want them to see my badge. I've been working very hard. Grizz is waiting for me. Oh no, Grizz has turned into a soup tureen, or perhaps a tree. Couldn't think of the word for tree then. Whatever census forms you have ready, it is time to take them to Mr. Page's. But we've not had supper. Infinity says, anyone know how long they're streaming today? I reckon I'll probably go until about 7 p.m. So another couple of hours, basically. I could try and push on to 8. I'll see how I'm feeling. It's quite warm. And I keep yawning, which is really annoying. Also, basically, whenever I stream a visual novel, I have to read out so much text that my throat starts hurting. So I'll probably... Basically, 2 more hours, I reckon. Say that I'm ready. Ask if we couldn't have supper instead. Exactly. Now I'm famished. Mr. Pages has been expecting these all day. He is eager to see what you've made of the collection. Emma Benton says, why are you pretending to be a child in a Dickens novel? Because we ain't had supper, Emma. That's why. Once I've shown you how to reach the ministry, you can come back on your own and turn in others. Oh, okay. Grizz has me gather my papers. With luck, Mr. Pages will decide to keep you on. With even more luck, he won't mind being asked about the Ministry of Chirography and Cartography. Yes, please. With that, she leads me outside and down a side street that is no longer named. Interesting. Emma Benton says, my mistake, carry on, lol. Well, there you go. Yeah, it's you're fine. I realise that the peculiarities of life in London don't necessarily translate well. Like, mate, you sure you've had your supper? And only asking for it like that. Like, you know, whenever I talk to my partner, I'm like, hello, love, what are we having for supper? What do you want? And then that's how we conduct our business, specifically when talking about that meal. Anyway, with that, she leads me outside and down a side street that is no longer named. Ronnie just says ... That's perfectly accurate, Ronnie. Cast aspersions on my private life. The way to the bazaar is much longer than a straight line. First left, then right, then back again and again. Like trimming an evening gown, it's going to a bother for the bother's own sake. I do not ask Grizz whether the masters require us to approach this way, or whether it is her own virtuosic embellishment. I ask this because as much as I hate to see Grizz leave, I love to watch her walk away. Finally, we find ourselves standing in its shadow, under its walls. Before us is a low door that once, I think, belonged to a solicitor's office. Anonymous says, I thought the correct mode of address was me old China, but then I'm not a Londoner or married. Well, me old China, the full thing is China plate, which is mate. But my partner's more than a mate. Because we love each other, so it's love! Oh dear. Louis Fairman says, as you well know, Johnny, we Londoners are all cockney pearly kings who live exclusively on jelly deals. Exactly. Exactly. Right. Grizz takes out a key made of something older than metal and unlocks that door. This kind of reminds me of bits of St. Paul's Cathedral, you know. Olivia says, shouting, love, at my husband, watching this stream in the next room. Hey, love! Hello, love! Olivia says hello! Oh, dear. Jupiter Mon says, someone should report this to Johnny's partner. Oh, I'm in earshot. Don't worry, my partner already knows. Yeah, they said they've got no idea what's going on. So, anyway, Grizz says, mind the pile of papers. I've already sorted them 3 times. I was about to do that as like full-on chimney sweep in Mary Poppins then. Mr. Pages is very particular about the ordering of documents. Now, where has he gone? Usually he's here by this time of day. Fucking hell! Ah, there you are, sir. We were just coming to bring you the census documents. I would have worked so much harder if I knew that's what Mr. Pages looked like. A first instalment of many, I'm sure. There is a tone in her voice, somewhere between fondness and a nanny guiding an untutored child. Colin Laster says it's the roof monster. What if it is? Oh my god. Jupiter Mon says, awooga! Ignore the mood between them, or don't. Let's don't. I watch her curiously. She doesn't meet my eye. Does she have feelings toward it? Affection? Regard for a very strange and demanding pet? Or is it something more heartfelt? Mr. Pages, may I present Angus? Angus, this is Mr. Pages. What if I put my face down? Is that worse? It's not great. Let's do that. There we go. The whole Ministry of Accounting and Recounting is under Mr. Page's direction. Scott Hartman says, are there teeth in that hood? We don't know. Ooh. Now that's an interesting clue. Cheerful Spider says Mr. Page is an anagram of M. Grapes. Grapes. Right. Acknowledge the introduction, express gratitude for the job, stand well back and make no sudden moves. I will acknowledge the introduction. How do you do? Fertilus with a soup con of myrtilence, says Mr. Pages. Mr. Pages has a surprisingly high voice for someone so large. Ah, hold on. I beg your pardon? Mr. Pages has been interviewing a Frenchman unhappily stranded on our shores before the fall. You can imagine how that might affect both mind and vocabulary. Nice, which says, Mr. Pages has the same name as my future husband? Coincidence? How curious. Agree that must have been challenging for Mr. Pages. Wonder whether it was challenging for the Frenchman. Request a translation or nod sagely. Let's nod sagely. Aha. Of course. What have you brought us? Says Mr. Pages. Did say his voice is weirdly high. James Malcolmson has done a super chat saying 100 rats in a trench coat, each one named Page. Firstly, thank you very much for the super chat. Second, yes please, that's hilarious. I once played a character in a pen and paper role-playing game actually that was 40 rats in a man suit. I didn't tell anyone until the first time I took damage when all the rats went and I had to reassemble myself, and I was like, nothing. It was good fun. Right. What have you brought us? Hand over everything at once. Hand over a finished census page about Archie. Blah, blah, blah. Everything at once. It turns over a page. Ah. Most intelligent. It gives me a shiny penny for my trouble. It's newly minted and has a portrait on the back of someone who is certainly not the Queen. The face on the back of the coin stares at me until the hair prickles on my neck. It reminds me of a debt owed. And I don't want to remember. And my breath hitches and slows and resumes. Goal complete. It's not as satisfying as I hoped. Provide pages with 7 census forms. Okie dokie. It turns over a page. Page takes my penny payment from a jar, bringing my stash to 2. There are other coins in there and a few things that aren't even coins. Freya says, oh shit. No. Buttons, pearls, probably false. A horse head carved from ivory or bone. We are grateful for your assistance. There are never too many papers. Twice in one stream. Oh, Watson. Watson, you're okay. There are never too many papers. Man says, what the super fuck was that? That was my doorbell. There's someone delivering a package, which normally means I have to run to press the button and let them in, and Watson goes bananas because she gets all excited, but my partner's here, so my partner took care of it. Anyway. It turns over a page. Mr. Pages takes the census page eagerly and spends some time scanning it. No, so it says, I'm so happy right now, double doorbell. There is something it is looking for, something that it keeps looking for, that it cannot find. It turns over a page. Mr. Pages pays. Then it puts the census page in a stack of others, much like it. It weighs the stack down with a paperweight. You'd have to apologise, man. Says, sorry, that was just like loud and weird and made me jump. Nah, sorry, yeah. No, it's just the doorbell. Don't worry. If I look too hard at the paperweight, my eyes sting. Classic. Using a big onion as a paperweight. It arrives at Rachel's census. This form merits 2 pennies. Interesting. It looks through the sheets of the form in its usual way. Her heart smells of sulphur, says Mr. Pages. Neo Hamilton says, is Mr. Page looking for someone in love? I think so. It feels like it, doesn't it? And Louis Fairman says Mr. Page is in the living room with the big onion. But matters have not progressed sufficiently for interest. The business of the census is done for now. Perhaps I've earned a question. Ask why maps need to be outlawed. Ask what the romance accounts are about, or finish the conversation. I'd like to ask about the romance accounts, but this is also quite intriguing. Romance accounts. Why are you asking people about their romantic situation? Are you planning any related laws or regulations? I can't imagine that, says Grizz.
You may consider the love stories remunerant.
Oh, that means you'll get paid for them. Remunerant.
In exchange for our generosity in the matter of food and clothing.
Ask whether the stories have to be true. Discover whether Mr. Page is looking for tales of a saucy variety. Well. Are there any particular details that would enhance the pleasure of these tales? What are you into, Mr. Pages? Eh? What are you into, mate?
Yes. If you are able to convey the flavour of the hearts and their resistance to the tooth.
Teeth again. Metaphorically, he's going to eat some hearts, isn't he? Alex Simpkin has done a super chat saying, take my monies to please make Mr. Pages the new Oxventure BBEG. I'll see what I can do without getting sued by Failbetter. Grizz accompanies me out again when it is time to go. She makes a couple of remarks about how useful this will be, though she stops short of asking whether I'm in debt to Horatia. I haven't forgotten, though. New goal. Pay Horatia half my back rent. Alright. Hey, Grizz. As we make our way back to Horatia's, Grizz asks me what I think of Mr. Pages. He's weird. She tries to make it sound like an idly curious question. You're asking about Mr. Pages. It's never going to sound idly curious, is it? Promise to keep up with the job at least till something better comes on. Thank her for arranging this post, or make light of Pages' tailoring challenges. I will promise to keep up with the job. I'll promise to keep up with the job. I'll keep working on this. Doing this is a help to more people than just Horatia. Before we go back inside the house, she reminds me we have many more people in the neighbourhood to survey for the census. You know how it's done now. You know how it's done now, so you can collect them and take them to Mr. Pages yourself. I have other duties, and I may not always be there, but Mr. Pages is, well, I'm certain you won't be harmed if you visit the ministry on your own. Why did you have to phrase it like that, Grizz? Ah, yeah. If you go there by yourself, you won't. No, you won't be harmed. Yeah. Mi badada. What a username. Says, I made cooked chicken hearts and drew a rose on the plate in paprika for a social goal during the Kickstarter. Brackets, the hearts were delicious. They are delicious. Little skewery little guys. Just pop them on a skewer, pop them on the barbecue. Chicken hearts. Nam, 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 nam. They are great. Anyway, right. Ask neutrally whether Grizz has feelings for Mr. Pages. Silently conclude she has an interest in Mr. Pages, or decide and confess that I have a flirtatious interest in Mr. Pages. I don't think I want to kiss Mr. Pages. I think I'm going to ask if Grizz has feelings for Mr. Pages, because I feel like yes. I got the impression that you have an affection for Mr. Pages. That was smooth. Mr. Pages is a puzzle. Nice Witch just called me a coward. Okay, fine. Sorry, I didn't... I'm sorry. Sometimes he can be protective. Other times I think he would let me walk into the sea if I chose. Not because he dislikes me, but because he has no fear for me. He trusts me to judge for myself. Undercarn Grizz, he calls me, but I'm not sure I'd call it love. Undercarn? That's pretty great. I can promote their connection. The sooner Grizz recovers from this, the better. This is no affair of mine. What should we go for? Promote their connection? Why not? Why not? If Grizz wants to bang Mr. Pages, all glory to the Underkhan. All glory to the Underkhan. I will promote their connection. Archie finds me upstairs after dinner. Rude. He didn't knock! I cannot stop thinking on the Ministry of Cartography. There's something not right there. If you'd let me show you what I'm thinking of. Suggest you have more faith in Mr. Pages. Watch with interest. Express a bit of impatience. Bit of impatience. If you must, we'll see what I have in mind. You'll see what I have in mind in a moment. Piss off, Archie. It's a way of sorting out my thoughts. When I started, it was to think through a treatment. But it's good for all sorts. Stories, schemes, things that might be true, or things that don't have to be. Are you a tutorial, or are you about to read me a poem, Archie? While he's talking, he's getting out some bits of paper written over in his own handwriting. Watch closely. Assignment. Learn about creating a story. Welcome to story crafting. Hello. From time to time, you'll be making stories about things you discover in the Neath. I'm looking forward to doing this immensely. However, I need to pee. And it's 5:30, so why don't we take a little 5-minute break, because I need some more water, but I also need to get rid of some water. So I'm going to pop away for 5 minutes. If you... do you need to stretch? How's your posture? Do you need to walk around a bit? Is there anything you need, or is there anything you can do in the next 5 minutes? Like Faisal says... No, Carrie Choi says snack time, right? So, like, you hungry? Thirsty? Too hot? Too cold? Check your posture, have a little stretch, and then we'll be back in 5 minutes. If you're not going anywhere, then there'll be a picture of my dog and some smooth jazz. So yeah, 5 minutes, and then we'll be back for more Mask of the Rose. Hello everyone, welcome back to this live stream here on youtube.com/Johnny Chiodini. I am Johnny Chiodini. Sorry, I also didn't look at my phone during the break, and I had a couple of messages. What were we doing? Playing Mask of the Rose, that's right. Good. I'm really glad I had a restful break there. So we're going to do some story crafting, which, as the tutorial tip says, means we'll be making stories about things we discover in the Neath. I'm going to pop my face up here. Let's see if that's the right place. Sometimes other people will ask you to bring them a story. They might want a true account or they might want fiction. Either way, you'll come here to create the story they want. Go on. Emma Benton, are you being bullied? Why are people bullying you? Oh, is it about not drinking enough water? Look, you know your own body. But, you know, also, please do bear in mind that it's important to stay hydrated. There we go. Right. Here we go. Right. Who? This is a slot. Slots contain the elements of your story. This is a who slot, meaning it can contain a character featured in the story. Select the slot to continue. Who? Aha! These are all the character tokens you could currently put in the slot. As you meet more characters in the game, you'll gain more options. Select one of the tokens to fill the slot and continue. Mr. Pages, why not? Excellent! You can select the slot again to choose someone else if you'd like. Otherwise, let's continue. Let's continue. Characters in the stories you craft here can be driven by motives, and these motives spur them to act. Tokens for actions and motives are represented by fragments of text rather than pictures. Assign a token to both the motive and action slots before you continue. I'm going to switch to make this a story about Grizz. Grizz, hoped for love. This is a story about Grizz, a ministry official driven by a powerful lust. It's like, had a secret affair. Well done, delicious friend. Let's continue. Grizz, a ministry official driven by a powerful lust, carried on a discreet and private affair with a lover. Commonly, a second character will feature as a friend, an enemy, or a victim. Select this new slot to continue. The second person in your story needs to be different from the first. Well. Ronnie says, are we live writing smut? Yes. Notice that the token for the character you first chose is marked with a cross. If you assign that token to this slot, it'll vacate the first character slot. You can try that now. You may continue when both slots are filled. Well, let's make it a story about Mr. Pages. Grizz, a ministry official driven by a powerful lust, carried on a discreet and private affair with her lover, Mr. Pages. Sometimes two tokens can't be placed together because they don't make sense together. More often, you can mix and match based on whatever you've learned about the world. You'll discover more variations in the course of play. Motive. Mr. Pages was afraid of Grizz. Sometimes you'll be asked for a story where certain elements can't be changed. In that case, those slots will be locked. You can change everything else about the story, but not that piece. I don't think Mr. Pages would be afraid of Grizz, I don't know. Finally, sometimes you can put an unknown into a slot. That means you think there's another possible answer, but you need to explore the world to find out what it is. Building a story with some unknown elements gives you a hypothesis you can ask other characters about. I'm going to change them around. Grizz was afraid of Mr. Pages, afraid of how lovely he'd be, possibly, if they got it on. Took unknown actions or obeyed? She obeyed. The new ministerial expose crafted, theory of obedience. Mr. Pages, a master of the bazaar, driven by a powerful lust, carried on a discreet and private affair with his lover, Grizz. Grizz was afraid of Mr. Pages and reacted by going along with everything Mr. Pages asked. Heavens! That's something else, isn't it? Cheerful Spider's done a super chat saying, learned recently, in Oslo, facing the Oslo fjord, there's a development of light and dark buildings spaced closely together so as to resemble a giant barcode called the Barcode Project. No, really. Sure about that? Oh, wow, it is real. Cool! That's hilarious. Right. Anyway, right, carry on. Thank you very much for the super chat, which I really thought was a trap. Okay. Whenever you're done working on a story, finished or not, you can leave the story crafting board and go and tell other characters about your idea. I am curious... Oh, must we exit now? Fuck, yes. Grumsons has done a super chat saying tips for the erotic friend fiction. Thank you. I would have liked to... in retrospect, it would have been... I would have liked to see what it said if Grizz took unexpected actions, but... You see how I'm coming at it. I'm trying to work out what Mr. Pages is about with the Ministry. It's no use asking Grizz. You've seen that, said Archie. Okay. Develop Archie's theory of what Mr. Pages is up to. Here we go. Right. Mr. Pages established a ministry rule forbidding mapping in the Neath. The typical Londoner reacted somehow. Ouch. Alex Simpkins says Johnny's becoming a real Tina Belcher. Oh my god. Ah! Mr. Butts is going to read all my fanfic! Right. Mr. Pages had an unknown purpose. Mr. Pages had purposes both unknown and unknowable. He established a ministry rule forbidding mapping in the Neath. And then something happened, presumably. But what? This is a bad story so far. The typical Londoner was determined to preserve London. Was gullible. The typical Londoner creditably believed its propaganda, even when it warned against using quite common street names. Let's say protected London. They resisted. Pages, unknowable, new ministerial expose grafted. So, the full thing, right now, is Mr. Pages had purposes both unknown and unknowable. It established a ministry rule forbidding mapping in the Neath. The typical Londoner rebelled against these commands whenever it was safe to do so, feeling that Mr. Pages did not mean the city well. It seemed best to create a bit of difficulty for these newcomers, who acted as lords and ministers without any right. Right. Cheerful Spider says, an actual giant barcode in Norway facing the sea felt too much like the universe trolling Johnny personally not to share. Agreed and very much appreciated, Cheerful Spider. Thank you. You may think Mr. Pages has some other notion of why it's acting so, but it doesn't comfort me much not knowing what that is. If you don't mind giving Mr. Pages all manner of stories about the people that live below, then you can go on with it. But if you'd rather another way to make your bread, I have a friend below that can take what we learn and put it about in the papers. Well, let me move my face back down so we can see what time of day it is. I told them I knew someone that might be able to bring back a few secrets of the ministry. Interesting. PJ Buck has done a super chat saying, waiting on a callback for an interview. Thank you for the distraction, LSPs. BNB do crimes, with a purple heart emoji, yellow heart emoji, white heart emoji, and a black heart emoji. Best of luck, PJ. I can imagine that's a little bit nerve-wracking, but I'm glad to be providing distraction, even though in this current moment I am talking about it and therefore not distracting you from it and making you focus on it harder. But I hope they call soon. I hope that it's good news. And yes, I hope the time doesn't pass too slowly between them getting in touch. Thank you very much for the super chat. And you BNB and do crimes. Let's all BNB and do crimes. Right. If you make up the questions you want to ask, you can investigate with anyone who might answer. Earn your pennies helping the citizens rather than those creatures in their blankets. New goal, bring Archie theories about the ministry. Interesting. Give myself time to think about this? Let's give myself time to think about this. I nod, but I don't make promises. I should let you get your sleep. You should feel free to come and talk with me any time. Archie, so obvious. Like, oh, I'm very sleepy. I guess we should all get some sleep. I guess you don't want me to sleep here, though. Unless you do, haha. Just kidding, unless. My own room's not big enough to turn about in, of course. But you can find me in the parlour. Indicate my interest, but only in friendship. Make it insultingly clear I'm not interested even in friendship. Or decline neutrally. I'm going to indicate my interest, but only in friendship. We don't need to completely destroy him. I think well of you, but I wouldn't want to give the wrong impression. With that understood, I'd be happy to. Excellent, he said, in a crying sort of way. Let's review the day in my journal, why not? See here. Bring Archie theories about the ministry, craft a story about what's really going on, tell Archie I have something to show him. Pay Horatia half my back rent, give 5 pennies to Horatia, should do that. Provide pages with 7 census forms. Interview someone for census information, deliver the fill form to Mr. Pages. Alright. Story crafting ideas discovered. Oh, this is good, look. Circumstance, pre-fall, Theophilus, feared predators, fought a flying creature, David Rachel, Carringham's, fought over Milton, Milton, the bizarre, hoarded written word, collected love stories. Alright. Another morning, another newspaper. Archie bought one, and the headlines read, Masters of the Masters of the Bazaar prohibit burning of more than 6 candles at once. Candle shortage ongoing. Interesting. How bizarre. Build a story, craft narratives and explore theories. This will not cause time to pass. Recall the past, change your outfit again, or head at. Let's take off the badge for now. Let's put the corsage back on. Right. I wish to... Where's the... Right, boarding ass. Pay Horatia the first half of what I owe her. Please. Horatia doesn't attend much to what I wear. An indifference no doubt born of seeing us in all states. I am satisfied with what I'm wearing then. I find Horatia in the basement taking inventory of our supplies. The night London fell, all Horatia's lodgers gathered in the cellar. Horatia led the hymns while we waited for dawn. Around 3 in the afternoon, we admitted to ourselves that there wasn't going to be a dawn, today or any other day. Hello, I trust you're well in these times. Since the fall, we have all taken to greeting one another as invalids on the verge of death. Well, sounds like she could do with someone flirting with her. Am I right? Oh, whoops. CookieCat94 has done a super chat saying the barcode project started when dock workers complained there is no way they can go to a ship with a clipboard, Denmark it has arrived, and finish the whole business before sunset. That was a lot. Thank you very much, CookieCat94. The thing is, I can't fault the craft that went into that. That was very well done. But bloody hell, that's a lot. Give me 1 second. I'm just going to pop this little fan on down here. That's much better. There we go. Ah, good. Okay. Brian Shona says, new pause screen. You have said something I regret. I genuinely have thought about that in the past. Honestly. Right. Flirt with Horatia. Bring up my recent memory of Horatia or come straight to the point. Flirt with Horatia. We were destined to meet. Fucking hell. Again with the like nuclear scale flirtation. Like, Jesus Christ. That person seems quite attractive. I think it was written in the stars that we were supposed to have kids together. Well, maybe they'll be interested in letting me buy them a drink. No! Too much. Absolutely too much. Bloody hell. I should tell them that I think their hair looks nice. Yes, I should tell them that I think their hair looks nice. I would die if I did not see you at least once a day. Yeah, that probably went well. Like, fucking no. That's awful. I need you like I need oxygen. Stop it. Right. If London hadn't fallen, we would have met on the surface instead. I'm sure of it. It had to be. Jesus fucking Christ, Captain. I think something's gone wrong with my senses, says Horatia. Eyesight and hearing were well enough yesterday. But now they're making you say and do things you wouldn't. Harjit says the Bessam's neighbours vanished overnight. I mean, that was the exact right beat down there, wasn't it? Fucking hell. It is destined that we were to be. Yeah, alright. Anyway, listen, did you hear about the Bessam's neighbours? Fucking hell. Dreadful. They've been talking of making a run for it, to striking out north and seeing what they found. Not enough to eat around here, it seems. Give her half my back rent. I believe I owe you something, as a matter of fact. An apology for that flirtation. I pass her the coins in a jingling handful. Thank you, you're a kind soul. She scoops the money into the pocket of her skirt. Goal complete. Discover how much more I owe her. Brush over that delicate topic. Brush over the topic. I don't ask anything else. I'm not sure I want to know. Finish pay my back rent. There's something I need for dinner if you'd be willing to go. Agree flirtatiously. Agree simply. Agree simply. There it is. Nice which says giving someone half their back rent is what I call redacted. Big fan. You say it's not your best one, but I don't know, we've not had a really clear opportunity for one in a while, so I'm into it. I think it's good. Why not? She rummages in a corner and returns with an assemblage of empty jars, which she piles into a bag for me. Take them to the market and get them filled, as many as you can. Oil first, then solids, whatever they've got. What's for dinner, mate? What's for dinner, love? What's for supper? Oil first, then followed by solids. Okay. Don't let them sell you more than 1 jar of cricket flour. We can use it, but we don't go through much. As for the purple mushrooms, make sure they're dead. Don't accept the live ones. How will I know? If it jumps out of the jar, it's not dead. Ha 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 ha! Right. The trip takes a long time. Nessie says we've gone from Johnny approaching flirty and everything to them backing away from the flirt options. Well, yeah. If every time you drove your car somewhere you hit someone, wouldn't you stop driving? Half the stalls are already empty, half the remaining stalls not offering anything we'd want. But I finish Horatia's commission in the end. There's time to run another errand before supper. What are we having? Oil and solids. Oh, bloody. Story crafting ideas discovered. Advertise lodgings. Should we build a story? Let's head outside. Hogsley Market, the Landau's townhouse, the bazaar. Let's go to the townhouse. See whether David needs anything. See whether Rachel needs anything. Work on my relationship with Rachel. Or take the census with Phoebe. Let's go meet Phoebe. So this game should be unlocking on Steam and, I believe, Switch in 3 minutes. Or by now, basically. They were hoping to get it out by 6 PM. Obviously, things may change. I don't know when they're going to press the big go button. But yeah, this game. Soon. Phoebe may find this look familiar and comforting. I should change. I'm satisfied with this. Alright. Why, Phoebe? We were destined to be! Are you here to see me, then? I don't receive visitors, as a rule. But perhaps they won't take official notice. It is not as if I entertain much. Explain that I'm working for the Ministry on the Census. Explain apologetically about the census. Let's be apologetic. For, I believe, the phrase is, awooga. I'm sorry for the interruption, but I've been sent to ask a few questions of the citizens of London, of those who survived at any rate. Can you imagine if you had to do a census for all the corpses as well? Are you in love? Interviewee did not respond. I'm not sure what the masters have in mind. Nonetheless, it would be a help. Okay. I see. Use the question as a chance to flirt. Yep. Tell me you're not married, Phoebe. My heart couldn't bear it. Now that's alright. That one's a bit better. I'm not married. It's not easy when you're in service. The household might not like you having gentlemen callers. Who said I was anything like a gentleman? Silence falls. Flirt with Phoebe. You're the liveliest thing I've seen in the Neath. Fucked it! Captain Angus just... completely fucked it. Completely fucked it. It's like a breath of fresh air just being around you. Jesus Christ. Angus. Orthogonal says, oh, a Wooga would have been better. It would. Anonymous says, how are her teeth? Okay. You're very kind. Ouch! You're very kind. My business is done. Oh, wow. I didn't last long. I should take myself off, says Phoebe. Yep. Ah, Cameron says if we turn the cameras around, we'll find out Captain Angus is actually Johnny Bravo. Do the census with me. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. It is nearly time for supper. Change clothes before dinner. Nah, straight to the table. Let's go flirt with the table. Grizz is very striking, though. I suppose you've heard the news, says Grizz. Ask what's happened. Suggest it can wait until I've served myself stew. Point out that this census business keeps me terribly busy. So we've got do the normal thing, be a dickhead, or be a different kind of dickhead. Let's ask what happened. Which news is that? The masters have received word from the surface. The rest of the world is all still there. The remains of England, France, all the rest, as it was. Only London was abstracted. There are crates and crates of mail from the world above. They're going out to London now as we speak. Aha! Ronnie confirms the game is indeed live on Switch for anyone wanting to flirt like a desperate teenager. Yep. Yep. Joke about the likely price of stamps. Shout with glee. Ask whether she's certain. I'm going to ask whether she's certain. Really? Are you sure? I've seen the sacks being loaded into carriages. I even have a little souvenir for us. But that can wait. Is it mail order underwear? Oh, fucking... piss off! A little souvenir for us, but that can wait. That is... Oof. Archie, did you hear? I did at that! Alright, Archie. So it's true? Says Horatia. I mean, to get a seat on the next mail coach that goes above. Ah, I'm not sure that the mail came by coach, and it certainly did not come by train. Well, however it came, I mean to go back that road. By bet! Propose, otherwise one might reach the surface. Encourage Archie's plans. Ask how soon we can expect to be rescued. I mean, I'd like to encourage Archie to fuck off. Propose other ways one might reach the surface. Maybe there is a carriage drawn through the upper earth by a team of giant moles. Yes! Look, Mr. Page has sent us all a gift, says Grizz. She takes out a package wrapped in brown paper and string and sets it down on the table. Inside are half a dozen fresh pork and apple sausages. Better than Christmas, love. Thank your Mr. Pages for us. I'll make them up for Sunday lunch. Join in Horatia's thanks. Yes, thank you, and Mr. Pages. Smooth. Thank you, not Mr. Pages. Well, and Mr. Pages. I don't suppose Mr. Pages does a line in red pudding. It is Mr. Hart's who has been arranging the import of surface meats. Surface meats. Also, Mr. Hart likes to taste the hearts. Not sure about this. Ooh. Right. But I don't think Mr. Hart's would consider a red pudding a very suitable gift. How many masters are there, then? I have only seen the census pages for a few of them. Keep quiet and eat. I chew diligently. The first few days weren't bad. People had food in their pantry still. Old loaves of bread, leftover joints, roots, and jams. But nothing new was coming into the markets. No new fish, no vegetables from the farms. We finish eating. Go straight to sleep. Review the day in my journal. Save up 5 more pennies, give them to Horatia, craft a story about what's really going on, and tell Archie I've got something to show him. More pages for Mr. Page. More pages for Mr. Pages. Alright. I guess we should craft a story for Archie. But I just want to talk to Grizz. Continue. For once, I know just what I'll see in the paper. Contact achieved with the surface of the Earth. Travel possible via Z route. Very good. Mail collected from above. It goes on and on like this. I spend a good part of the morning devouring the pages. There are hardly any pictures. It's too early for illustrations. Nonetheless, the paper's correspondents paint a vivid picture of the perilous travel back to the environs of Italy. Interesting. Build a story. Offer Archie stories about the masters that might shock the ordinary Londoner. Okay. Mr. Pages did something. Hoped for power. And he took unknown actions. Well, that's a shit story. That's an awful story. He collected love stories. There we go, that's better. Alright, we'll give that to Archie, shall we? Head outside. The Landau's townhouse, the boarding house, Hogs Lane Market, the bazaar. Oh, we could go flirt with Rachel a little bit, couldn't we? Why not, eh? I wonder what a Landau would make of my current garb. I should change. Lapel's good, but we're going coatless. That's what we're doing. That'll do. This, I'm satisfied with this. Ah, damn it, Nicewitch says Admiral hat on for the lady. Good morning, I'll see whether my master and mistress are at home, she says, running from the room. Eh, flirt with Rachel! Give an unexceptional greeting. Describe the flying beast at St. Albans. I'm kind of tempted to do that. Let's do that. Ah, but I want to describe the flying beast. I was at the church when something enormous landed on the roof, not a bat or an ordinary bird. What a perfectly normal way to greet somebody. Bing bong. I was at the church when something enormous landed on the roof, not a bat or an ordinary bird. Right. Meredy Ship has done a super chat saying, "Und the sun there. Und the sun there. Und the sun there." I feel like I should be getting a reference here, but "Und the sun there" is good fun to say. It looked in on us from above for some time before it gave up and flew off. I go on for some time and make no effort to hide how frightening the whole business was. The description becomes more frank as I go on. Rachel listens, nodding. I have perhaps created some trust between us. Time to ruin it. What are your origins? What sort of people do you come from? Bloody hell. I can guess a few things from your clothes and your voice, but there are contradictions. Oh, it's from Sunless Skies. Got it. Okay. And the sun there. Boast of the fine people I helped dress. Talk about the inventive side of tailoring, or invent a story of my elevation. Talk about the inventive side of tailoring. I speak of my family's background and the fine people we had the honour to dress. I talk about the inventions of new styles and the challenge of finding the right ambassadors to wear them. Don't let it go to your head, but I find you impressive. It will pass, don't worry. A, that's encouraging, and B, good flirting. Good flirting, Rachel. It seems I have passed some test. Well. I'm glad you weren't away. If you continue like this, you might find some of your bon mot in my next novel. I worry over you. Sometimes a thought crosses your face that I can't read. She cares about us. What troubles you? Talk about my fears for others. Talk about how far I am from home and family. Fears for others. Laugh but don't answer. Nicewitch says, time for me to scarper. Take care, Skelly pals. Have good weekends. Take care, Nicewitch. I hope to catch you soon. Have a lovely, lovely weekend. I tell her about my worries, the people I'm concerned about, and the ones who might be a menace to themselves. She listens, nodding thoughtfully. You know a great variety of people, it seems. Some curious customers. Flirt with Rachel! Here we go. Why is it that whenever I see you, I feel you're noticing things I would rather hide? In the context of the conversation that has gone before, not terrible. But of course, the other shoe has yet to come down. It should worry me. Yet somehow it doesn't. Not bad! You talk as though you mean to court. That is not a deterrent, merely an observation. Okay. I prepare to go, but we find we each have more to say. We spend a while longer talking inconsequentially about this and that. Rachel falls into telling me stories of Milton's salon. It is attended mostly by writers and poets, especially daring poets will sometimes attempt a reading, but Milton's side commentary has proven a deterrent to the softer-bellied. He has no patience with work that's made to pattern. If it's a story about the uncomplaining sufferings of wives, servants, children, or dogs, there is also a strict rule against peons to the faithfulness of Penelope or Ruth or the Virgin Mary. Understood. If anyone dares say anything like that, he quips it out of existence. She goes on like this for some time, introducing me in turn to all the characters of that world, whether highborn or not. When we part, there is a current of attraction between us. Decides to court Rachel? We must. Decides to court Rachel. I look at Rachel with unmistakable longing. That leaves time for another errand today. Awooga. Let's head back outside. I suppose we should go do some censor stuff. Should we go to... Let's go to the bazaar. We've not been to the bazaar. Uh-oh. No, wait. We don't have... Oh, provide Mr. Page with additional census forms while Grizz is there. Sure. But we've only got one. Let's go get another one. Look into shopkeepers. Look for census-filling shopkeepers. Right. It's hard to guess what outfit will go over best in this environment. I should change. Let us go for the badge, the tailor's apron, the hat. We're going to do it all. Becca says, is it because time had been spent to chat with her first, and why all the previous flirting had been debatable at best? I think possibly, Becca. I think maybe going in immediately and being like, would you like to kiss me? Is not the best way of going about it. But building a rapport with somebody first is a better approach. Right. Florence Pugh? Hello there. Call me Ivy. Oh, it's not Florence Pugh. The badge makes clear that I'm here for business, not for conversation. But I'm also here for business. Explain that I'm working for the Ministry on the Census. Establish my authority with the census. Oh, fuck it, let's hat it. I require assistance with the Ministry Census? The truth is essential. I see. Simply ask her full name, ask from a position of authority, or cede some of the power back to Ivy. Let's just simply ask her full name. What's your full name? Ivy Fitzclarret is what passed for a joke with my mum. Note the claret. Angle for an explanation or make no comment on her mother's sense of humour. Note the claret. I take it a good bottle of wine contributed to your existence? I don't know about good, but at least a middling one, and plenty of it. Fucking hell. Can you imagine? Can you imagine if your surname was basically just a list of the things that led up to the Goodness me. My mum reckoned when I got old enough I could pick a lie that'd suit me. So long as you live with me, you'll be known for a tart's daughter, no point hiding it. Wow. Decide what relationship I want with Ivy. Take an interest in her mum. Not sure what to say to that, eh? I don't do conversation from the etiquette books. I mean, it seemed very early on to be like... Do I want to court this woman? Anyway, decide to court Ivy. My opinion remains to be seen. I've just met her. I shake my head to clear it. The ruminations are gone. All is as it was. Take an interest in her mum. Explore the question of her future. Just note the information down and move on. I see. Like a steel trap, eh? I get the measure of you. Simply ask about Ivy's household. Fucking hell. Do you live alone? I live back at my mum's place when I'm not working in. She's good company unless she's got guests of her own, in which case I stay out late. Simply ask about her romantic connections. Are you married or otherwise connected? There's been a few warm encounters. I'm not the Blessed Virgin, am I? I'm not the Blessed Virgin, am I? But I don't want child nor man sponging off me. One thing about being raised by an old sloop of war. She taught me how to keep unencumbered. Fucking hell. There was a brief lull in the conversation. Yes. Flirtatiously tease Ivy. Yes. Look into Ivy's goods for set. Let's flirt her. Let's flirt her. Let's tease her. Any amusing affairs of late, Ivy? There's one thing that happened recently, and I don't mind telling you, as it needs telling to someone, or it won't stop living inside my head. That is to say, I met a certain young man that seemed a good enough bet for the evening. Has his teeth, has his hair, missing one toe on his left foot, but he's wearing shoes and no one's counting his toes anyhow, the kind of thing I have in mind. So we have our drinks and the evening is progressing onward, when he starts telling me what he'd like to get up to. Allow this story to continue, obviously. Go on, you have me curious now. What could possibly be a shock to Ivy Fitzclarett that grew up at her mother's knee? I wouldn't say I was shocked, takes a lot to shock me, but it wasn't what I'd a taste for either. What starts him off is imagining he's being ate by a spider. He wants me to wrap him up tight like a bundle in silk and crawl all over him whispering, what can I call it, spider threats. About paralysing him and draining out his vital juices. So I say, no, that's a specialist activity and most ladies who do that for him might need paying. Until he finds one with interests that go with his, which, London is a large city, but it might not be that large. And then I also mentioned how, if I had a place to bet, I would bet spiders don't tell you what they're going to eat. Even down here. And that put him right off me, I tell you. Promise I have no such tastes. Teasingly suggest that's just my kind of thing. Promise I have no such tastes. Or teasingly suggest that's just my kind of thing. I'm going to teasingly suggest that's just my kind of thing. I've been wanting to meet a would-be fly. Whereabouts does this young man live, then? Oh, I can't say a word of that. I was joking, Ivy. Very respectable address. Very respectable people. They wouldn't want it getting out what their son prefers these days. Ah, well, top of Rome for me. By now, Horatio will be wondering where I am. Change clothes before dinner. Go straight to the table in my Admiral's hat. Thank you. Story crafting ideas discovered. Ivy thought poorly of gentlemen. Did you see that woman, the one that came yesterday asking for a doctoring, says Horatio. Aye, what should it be but nightmares again? Ask about her complaint, admit to having odd dreams too, or listen quietly. Let's listen quietly. Meredy Ship has done a super sticker of a lady with a great mass of pink hair and purple skin and a yellow shirt and a couple of bangles on her arm. And she keeps going, me! Me! As in like a pick me kind of me sort of gesture. Meredy, is this you signing up for like spider kink? Which is fine, I'm not here to kink shame, obviously. It's a lovely super sticker. I just want to be sure that I know I'm interpreting it correctly. Anyway, I keep quiet, this isn't my affair. Could you do anything, love? I've only a dram of laudanum left and no more for a few days. There's fuel enough for the moment if you need to start a new tincture. Meredy says blush, maybe. Meredy. Like a spider crawling around me like, I'm gonna paralyse you and eat your juices. Yeah, fair enough. Right, there's fuel enough for the moment if you need to start a new tincture. There's something else I've been brewing up, so to say, but in case it did not work, He takes something out of his pocket, a lump wrapped in paper or leaves, just long enough for Horatio to see. Opium! Goodness! Well, wherever you got it, don't let anyone see it before you've had a chance to use it. There's a woman who comes to the door just about every morning. Too many children and not enough food. Sometimes I have a penny or some old stew for her. Suggest the masters might help. Listen or wait for the story to end. Horatia tells stories like this sometimes. She doesn't expect advice. I'm sure she knows there's nothing to be done. Leave a mess for Horatia? With my admiral's hat. Blah, blah, blah. Stew, blah, blah. I'm just going to keep quiet and eat. I chew diligently. When they got hungry, people turned inventive. All the pigeons around St. Paul's, they got caught and plucked. More than one society lapdog was turned to stew. Dinner reaches an end. Oh, no grizz. Go straight to review of the day in my journal. 5 more pennies given to Horatia. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Good times. Right. Another morning, another newspaper. Friends, delicious friends. I hate to do this, but I think I might have to stop the stream about there. I realise it's slightly early. Aneto Parinka's just done a super stick. Oh no, Failbetter Games has just popped into chat. Failbetter, I'm so sorry. Eto Parinka's done a super sticker of a lady with loads of pink hair and a stripy top and a yellow skin and is winking and saying, "You're number one," with little hearts popping out. Failbetter Games says, sorry we're a little late. We were launching a video game. It is a very good video game. I've enjoyed playing it. But I've absolutely done in my voice. It always happens when I'm streaming a visual novel. And when I read everything out, I absolutely wear out my voice. So I'm going to have to stop because it's quite sore. But I've been having a lot of fun. We've been doing a lot of flirting. And yeah, thank you so much for joining in chat, and also for the code and the early access to the game. The game is of course out now. It's on Steam and GOG and Switch, and yeah, like if you liked what you saw here today, then go check it out because oh my goodness, you can do some good flirting in this, and you can do some awful flirting in this. And frankly, I want to find out what was on the roof of the church. That's what I would like to know. But in the meantime, yeah, that about does it from me. Sorry again to end the stream early, but I need this thing to work in order to be able to do my job. Talking of my job, I have a Patreon. It's patreon.com/Johnny Chiodini. There's a link in the description of this video. I'm going to be back on Saturday with new episodes of Press Any Chiodini. If you aren't a patron, we're going to be launching a brand new series. It's Ghost of Tsushima. It's good fun. And then I'll be back again on Monday, streaming some painting, and we'll keep on making things. There's loads of stuff for you to watch on the channel. I hope you enjoy it. But yeah, thank you again for watching. Sorry again for ending early, but have a lovely day, everyone. And yeah, no, that's it. Have a lovely day, everyone. Bye.